So today is May 21st. I ordered a carburetor for that on May 9th. Now, for whatever reason, Amazon waited a few days to send it out. Or maybe HIPAA did. I don't know. Maybe Amazon didn't have one, so they had to get it straight from the factory or something. I don't know what the deal was. That is not an unusual chainsaw. That's a pretty popular chainsaw. I've worked on them before. Not this one, but I've worked on many of them. The local hardware store sells these. So getting a HIPAA carburetor is no big deal. So they sent it out, I don't know, 3 or 4 days later, whatever it was, no big deal. So they sent it US mail. Now, I've watched congressional hearings on the US mail. And the Postmaster General just absolutely think they're doing a fantastic job. Just fantastic. They're going to reduce, you know, they're going to save money. They're going to reduce the amount of deliveries to small towns like this one. And, you know, this is all fantastic stuff. But you look at UPS or Amazon. I don't know about FedEx. I think FedEx is okay, I think. I mean, I'm sure people are going to complain about them. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But especially Amazon. Rarely does Amazon mess up. Sometimes they run a little late to the post office. You know, they go from the distribution center to the post office. And sometimes they run late, maybe an hour or two late. So they don't come out the day that the Amazon says it's going to come out. But it's only a day. I mean, I can deal with that. I'm a little frustrated, of course, but no big deal. And by 8 o'clock, I know it's not going to be here. UPS, I would say, well, I don't think I can't remember ever having a problem with UPS, to be honest. UPS was pretty good. That's before, you know, that was before Amazon took over the deliveries to this town. So UPS took all the deliveries. But now, Amazon takes it to the post office. The post office drops it off at the, you know, the delivery guy. He drops it off at the house. And I'm pretty happy with that particular situation. So when you watch these congressional hearings and you hear the Postmaster General telling you how great everything is at the post office, when you know that fundamentally it's just broke. It's absolutely not working. If a package goes to Kansas City distribution center, I know for a fact it's going to be weeks before I see that package. Guaranteed. It's like sometimes they'll just park it on the trailer into the parking lot, is what my imagination is. And they may pull it up to the dock sometime this week. They might. Who knows? But it's never here on time. Never. So I've gotten kind of accustomed to that idea. There have been packages that get lost. Here's the thing, I don't understand. Amazon will send something through the post mail. Now, I'm sure Amazon does not want to give your money back. It doesn't seem like that's a financially stable environment to think, you know what, we're going to sell this guy something and then give their money back after we ship it out, and the postal service loses the package. So, what was it? So I ordered on May 9th. This is the 21st. So it was supposed to be here on the 18th. So what is that? 9 days? That's a long time for something to be in transit, I think. But okay, 9 days. It's supposed to be here. Well, it wasn't here. So they said, well, it's going to be here on the 20th. Great, it's going to be on here on the 20th. It's still sitting in Georgia. Well, it's not sitting in Georgia. Whatever day they sent it, it went from Florida to Georgia, and then Georgia, it left Georgia. And now it's gone. It just has disappeared, like the truck just, aliens abducted it. I don't know. No, I know what's happened. It got stuck in either St. Louis or Kansas City. For some reason, those two distribution centers just can't seem to do anything right. And we're supposed to trust these. Here's what's funny, is when you ask Google or AI about the post office, and you say it's tax funded, it says, oh no, it's not tax funded. It's an independently operated business. Okay, great. how much money has actually been put into the post office by the government. And it'll say, oh, you know, $30 billion or whatever it is. I mean, I said, where does that $30 billion come from? It's approved by Congress. Okay, where does it come from when Congress do congressmen take it out of their pocket? No, that's provided by taxpayers. Well, you just said taxpayers don't fund the UPS. Well, technically they don't. Yes, technically we do. $30 billion. It's got to come from somewhere. It's not like it just came out of the... Oh, no, it comes out of the printing press. I know what somebody's going to say. But, you know, that's a whole nother point. Just aggravates the heck out of me. I probably shouldn't get into the subject. I guess I won't. We're in so much debt. And I know what happened to how it happened. But I'm not allowed to say it because my generation, you know, are just a bunch of crying little babies. You know, we were the turnkey kids, I think is what they called us. Or latchkey kids, that's what they called us. We had a key around our neck. Our parents, you know, they were out partying, you know, the 70s and the 60s, partying. And they made the kids stay at home. And if you had a sibling, the oldest kid always had to take care of the younger kids. Change diapers, babysit. You know, we had to come home when the street lights came on. And that's fine. I don't mind having a responsible, independent child. That's great. But while they were out partying, they also took an economy that was absolutely booming from their parents. Their parents got out of the war. Their parents built infrastructure in this country, highways, had money flowing, inventions were being created all the time. And we turned it into a society where everybody had a savings account to everybody had debt. And people are so accustomed to debt. Now we have, what, $37 trillion in debt? And when you tell these people, well, who else did it? Who else drove up the debt? They won't take any responsibility. Oh, the politicians did. Okay, why would the politicians drive up debt? What did they do? Yeah, we'd like to have, you know, let's see, what is something we could do? And you know, they dream up all these stupid projects. And so for the last 50 years, this generation has been in charge. And the thing is they won't leave office. All of them are about to die. They should have died. I think they're on, like, you know, mechanical operations. I mean, you know, fake hearts, mechanical hearts. None of them should be in office. They should have retired years ago. Still in office. And then they criticize my generation for not supporting them. So let's look at Social Security. This generation I'm talking about had huge numbers of population. And then you look at the next generation, and there's like, I don't know the numbers. Somebody's going to Google it and tell me I'm wrong. So there were more taxpayers funding, for example, funding Social Security for their parents than today. There are less people to fund Social Security today for my generation for the people who are on Social Security. And then when you tell that generation, when I retire, there's no Social Security left. By law, they have to reduce, I think by 20%, the amount of money I was supposed to get. By law. They passed a law, because they're still in office, that says we are going to suck Social Security dry, so when our children collect Social Security, they won't have any. So they'll have to pay. And that means that we're going to be $37 trillion in debt. And so Social Security, all that money they paid in all their life was just a tax. That's all it was. And we don't care. We really don't care about our children. I've heard them say that. I've heard this generation say, as a matter of fact, I've heard multiple say, I got an inheritance from my parents, but I'm not giving any to mine. I'm going to die with my money. I'm going to blow it. I'm going to have fun. Well, you've had fun your entire life. You started out having children partying. And then you did something and you got in 1971, you got a bill passed so that if you got pregnant, you didn't even have to have the child. Just get rid of it. My dog is getting scared because she sees me yelling at the camera. So we have to let the dog in because she doesn't like to be yelled at. Come on. There you go. So there's no retirement money, family inheritance. And when we say family inheritance, you know, my great-great-grandparents passed down some land and money to my great-grandparents, and then land and money to my grandparents, and grandparents to my parents, and they're like, you ain't getting any. That's all for me. Now, I have read some studies, and it says that generation was exposed to toxic levels of lead, unleaded gasoline. So the narcissism rates of that generation are through the roof. And that's all they think about is themselves. They have high depression, high anxiety, all that stuff. So they're addicted to whether it's prescription or street drugs they're addicted to. And they've had no responsibility their entire life. They'll say they do. We worked hard. Well, you didn't work hard. What you did, here's how hard you worked. I forget the percentages. Let's call it 60 or 70%, whatever it was, of that generation has filed bankruptcy. Now, we all talk about inflation, and inflation is terrible. We hate inflation, right? So this generation person, 60 or 70%, has filed bankruptcy at least once. That's what I found so fascinating. At least once. So somebody has to incur that cost. Well, that company had to incur that cost. No, the companies don't incur costs. They don't do that, no. What they do is they raise the prices. So if I want to get a loan, the interest rates go up. Rates go up. Product prices go up. Because the rates go up, you got to raise product prices. So inflation. So I'm paying for your bankruptcy. So I pay for your debt because you've bankrupt Social Security. I'm going to have to pay for your bankruptcies, your debt, by a generation that has fewer people in it because you were out partying and decided, you know what? I didn't want to have that baby. So you got rid of them. So there's nobody to pay it. And then you complain that we don't work hard enough to take care of you. I know. So when we come to the post office, who's running the post office? Well, the last time I looked, you know, when I watched the last congressional hearing, a member of that generation. Oh no, everything's fine. No, you're not getting your packages? I don't care. Just give me more money. I'm here to get more money. I need more money. You know, I look at these guys driving these cars, and they're all in that retirement age, just sucking off the government. And you know, they're mad because they got to hand out Amazon packages. Well, if you don't like the job, quit. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. It is so aggravating to watch this country crumble. The generation who is crumbling it won't get out of office so somebody can actually fix it. And the thing is, here's the thing. If somebody from my generation does run for office, and I've seen several of them, and then they get into office, and immediately that generation turns them. They'll dig up dirt on them instantly. You cannot oppose these people. They've been in office so long that it's just an institution now for them to suck us dry, to be in power, to be important. Narcissism, lead poisoning. I'm sure this video is going to get a lot of hate, and you know, I really don't care. I just don't care. I think it's unfair that one generation made me pay into Social Security. I remember the first time I paid into Social Security, you know, after I became self-employed, and I had to pay self-employment tax, which is Social Security. You know, you pay Social Security, you pay 7.5%, your company picks up the other 7.5%, and then they get a tax write-off on that 7.5%. But when you're self-employed, you pay the full 15%, and there's no write-offs. The first year I had to pay in Social Security was $10,000. I wrote a check for $10,000. And I know somebody that year that got a $10,000 disability check from Social Security that same year, 50 years old. I supported that person for what, 12 years? I was in my 30s. It makes you sick to know that you spent so much money into a tax that they promised you were going to get. And now they're saying, no, you're gonna lose it by at least 20%, if not more. It could go insolvent, which means there's no money. No Medicaid, no Medicare, no Social Security. So what do we get? Nothing. That means I'll, have to work my entire life, which I already planned on doing. So I got another YouTube channel. I'm going to convert this channel, and I'm working on lawnmowers. I know that's my retirement. But at least I set myself up because I was smart enough to know that I was being hosed by my parents. So I built a 12 by 16 foot house, live off solar panels. And they say, oh, at least you're happy, son. Yeah, I'm happy that you forced me to accept my life, that that I have to live in a 12 by 16 foot house. Thanks. I appreciate it. Glad you had so much fun partying. So if you'll click this up next box to take your video over to my other channel, really appreciate it. Go check it out. So if I can inspire you to suck your kids dry, because it's really exciting, so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.